In order. Welcome to the agenda review meeting. At this time, I would ask our clerk to call the roll.
Ms. Casabon? Mr. Phillips?
Here.
Ms. Tanner?
Here.
Mr. Burke?
Here.
Mr. Kugel?
Here.
Mr. Bender? And Mr. Lachlan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, we're going to pull the following items. Ordinance calendar number 7835, ordinance calendar number 7836, ordinance calendar number 7837, ordinance calendar number 7838, ordinance calendar number 7839, and ordinance calendar number 7840. At this time, I'd like to ask any other council members or administration if there's any other thing y'all would like to pull. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to refer the remainder of the agenda, minus the items pulled, to the full council.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Tanner. Second. Second by Mr. Laughlin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. Let's see now the next.
Moving back to the full items. You can do it all as
Yeah.
one motion.
So now I'd like to do a motion to refer items 20 to 25 to the full council.
No, to the Finance Committee.
The Finance Committee, excuse me. I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Tanner. Mr. Kugel on the second. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. And that's it. Okay, and now number two, we have an update on the comprehensive drainage study by Daniel Hill, the Director of Engineering. I gotta hit the lectern right. Let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Work. Oh, why is it jumping?
All right. Daniel Hill, Director of Engineering. Thank you, council members. Parish comprehensive drainage plan's been going on for some time now. Michael Baker International is the firm assisting us with the comprehensive drainage plan. I turn it over to Justin West with Michael Baker to give a brief presentation. If y'all have any questions, let me know. I got answers.
How's everyone doing? My name is Justin West. I'm with Michael Baker. We're just going to go over the comprehensive drainage plan real quick. So the scope of the project started with phase 1A. It was a large data gathering. And so we reached out to multiple different stakeholders, multiple different people in the parish, and then we also created a GIS dashboard. Phase 1B, which is going to be concluding in July, is the modeling portion, the parish-wide capital improvement plan, the grants, and then the community outreach for the capital improvement plan. The data collection for phase 1A and the data collection for phase 1B were separate. I don't know why it's jumping. But the data collection for phase 1A really focused on finding out what we needed to fill the gaps for the parish in. While the data collection for phase 1B focused on finding the H&H data that we really needed to be able to build out these models. The GIS portal that we built allowed us to then have community members go in, mark places, as you can see throughout the map, where they feel like there was drainage problems so that we can take those into account later into the capital improvement plan. There's a couple examples of comments we got where someone talks about flooding in their backyard, I-12 causing a backup in places, and other things. Then we waited till we got the LWI models. The LWI models were not released till August of 2024. They were supposed to be released at fourth quarter 2023. They got pushed back to first quarter 2024, then second quarter 2024, and finally they were released in August of 2024. The parish has multiple watersheds within the parish that were done in the LWI modeling program. Each model is a multi-million-dollar model that was done by engineering firms throughout the state. And there's the Boga Chitto, the Pearl, and the Chafuncta River model that was completed that were all in the St. Tammany Parish. We took these big LWI models and then we broke them out into smaller models. The reason we did this and we had to wait for the release of the models is that these models were calibrated and validated. Calibration and validation means that you take a historical event, you put it in the model, and then you use that model to predict how the historical event would happen. You compare that to historical gauge data, and as you get closer, you start meeting calibration metrics set up by that gauge data. That takes about a year for one of these large-scale models. The build-out for the model takes about another year. So we're talking about a 2-year project, multi-million-dollar model that we were able to actually take and then break out. Each one of these smaller breakout models that we did was a reference back to the larger model, but we were able to do this from August to January, so in 4 or 5 months, instead of taking 2 years and the budget that it would take to do a full watershed modeling process. Using the results of these smaller breakout models and then using FEMA historical flooded structures and then stakeholder information we got from the GIS, recent data that St. Tammany Parish is collecting, we're now going to be putting it all together to create a capital improvement plan, which is going to be having proposed projects that are then going to go through the grant portion later in the project timeline. So right now we're right at the end of the H&H modeling. All the existing models are done. Now we are vetting proposed projects. Then we'll go into the capital improvement plan, grants, and then a final community outreach to get comments on that. That's the end.
Thank you, Justin. Justin kind of glossed over it a second. One of the ways we were doing this as a parish, I think the point needs to be making is we couldn't have accomplished a comprehensive drainage plan as a parish without leveraging the watershed initiative models. Like that was a state-funded activity. I think we discussed state level. It was $145 million across the state. So if you look at that as a parish-wide, roughly $6 million it would have cost to model everything in St. Tammany Parish in order to develop a full comprehensive drainage plan. So what we did is we leveraged their activities, but that also made us beholden to their schedule on it. So we kind of set in active on a comprehensive drainage plan for 9 months, waiting for that to go. Once it was released, we've been moving. So we're ready to finalize this thing and get it going.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Councilman Long.
Daniel, thank you, and thank you to your colleagues for everything they've done so far.
Turn your mic on.
Oh, sorry.
There it is.
I apologize.
Press it again. No, you're good.
And, all right, hold on, let me do it, Jerry. Okay. Thanks, Daniel. No, thank you for everything, and especially to your colleagues on this. This is pretty much probably our most important thing that we're doing. So is the goal, just for us who are new, is once we know what this is going to basically give you the kind of to help us steer where we need to go capital projects wise to fix?
Not only capital projects wise, we're talking about it could be private development as well, because right now as it stands we have calibrated models that are functioning for every major waterway in the parish. One thing that Michael Baker's looking at is the missing pieces, the things that we don't have done that we can fill in to that to make it work. But it'll be an aid for private development as well.
Excellent.
So yeah.
And then and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. I just want to mention this. Are we going to have like a contingency if the Slidell levy does go through, or would that change everything that we're fun.
So I guess the Slidell levee would be a coastal item, while that's running independent of its own plan.
Right.
Majority is drainage in St. Tammany. You're looking at riverine flooding issues that are independent of the coastal items. There may be some modifications to it, but not a lot.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. I appreciate that clarification. Thank you, Daniel. And thanks again.
Anyone else? Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, one last thing on our agenda today is a few of us went to the police jury convention in Baton Rouge, and we'd like to kind of give an update on that. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Laughlin.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. As y'all know, some of us went to the police jury convention. It's always a great opportunity. This was my second time going. It's a chance for us not only just to get accomplished, we get our continuing ed taken care of there for some of us if you choose to engage that, but it's also a great opportunity to meet with our colleagues in other municipalities. I know I had a long, lengthy discussion with the people in Jefferson Parish, a couple people from Livingston Parish, for me, that they're dealing with some of the same issues that we are, and it's nice to have their things. And also we had great meetings with Washington Parish too. But more importantly, it's also just a great time for us to to bond between the council and the administration. And I know specifically Daniel and I, we had a bunch of great moments together. We were actually able to discuss a lot of the drainage issues and things of that nature.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to make a comment? Mr. Phillips?
It gives us an opportunity to get some of the required training done that we're required to do, like sexual harassment training and ethics training.
Yeah, continued education. Anyone else? All right, this time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Meeting adjourned.